Introduce some more information before I go across to him. Prime Minister of Israel Benjamin Netanyahu has condoned the death of the Israeli military personnel killed in South Lebanon. He stated, and I quote here, "My wife and I, together with all the citizens of Israel, share in the deep sorrow of the family of Golani Brigade Reconnaissance Unit Fighter Staff Sergeant Ori Greenberg of blessed memory, who fell in battle in southern Lebanon. We offer our heartfelt condolences to the family of Ori, who fought with heroism and courage to defend our northern border. May his memory be blessed." All right, let me go across to Major Shah on this. So obviously, we are now seeing day 27 of the war. Hostilities remain. We are talking about deaths. Israel is obviously looking at the tragic death of one of its personnel in Lebanon. That is a front, sir, that Israel seems to have. They seem to make sure that they end Hezbollah once and for all, because they do not seem to stop their bomb attacks on southern Lebanon, and they have in fact also put boots on the ground, sir, to make sure that they get everything erased. They are destroying civilian infrastructure there so that Hezbollah cannot make a stronghold again. They want to once and for all make sure that they redraw the boundaries, if I can quote one of their generals as saying, sir.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right. You know, the sad part is whenever there's war, there is heavy destruction from both sides. In fact, some lose a lot, some lose less, but both lose. And a soldier fights not because he hates what's in front of him. He fights because he loves what's behind him to protect the people. So I feel very sad whenever I see soldiers from either side, any side, when they lose their lives, because soldiers are not personal enemies. They are just discharging their duty, and in the line of fire, they are just doing their job. That is why the Geneva Convention is there in place. In fact, because you're not personal enemies, you don't know the person on the other side is like Thomas Hardy wrote a poem, "The Man He Killed," and in fact, in that he mentions about when you kill any soldier, how things would have been different in different circumstances. Now, also the Iranian Foreign Minister, in fact, Abbas Araghchi, he has firmly rejected that there is no talks happening with the US right now. There are no dialogues. They believe in resistance, and so Iran is putting up a tough fight. And as the panelist before me said, yes, US is suffering a heavy humiliation right now at this juncture. Donald Trump has come to a point where he cannot go back, and going ahead is suicidal again. So what does he do? So if he puts boots on ground, it is 100% it's going to be a suicide mission, like in 1980, Operation Eagle Claw. Your 6 helicopters took off from America to go to Iran for rescue of 52 diplomats who were taken hostage by the Irani youth over there. Not a single helicopter from there returned. In fact, 3 of them developed technical snags. Couple of them were abandoned. One crashed with a fixed wing, which was carrying fuel for them. So it was a botched-up operation. Similarly, here the boot on the ground would be a very, very big disaster, and we suspect that probably Donald Trump wanted a regime change. If he puts in boots on the ground, there would be regime change, definitely, but not of Iran, of America. So Donald Trump is going to buy further humiliation over here. So it's extremely sad what's happening, but what is bothering me more is the casualty of the civilians, the collateral damage. That is the sad part. When military personnel, of course, they are there, they're discharging their duties, but a civilian sitting in the UAE for that matter, in Dubai, what is his problem? Why? What did he do? What did he go? What went wrong? Of a different nationality altogether. When he is stuck in the crossfire, he is being bombarded. That is what is actually painful. And ultimately, it's not just the loss of human lives. Collateral damage can also be in terms of economy, in terms of internet services. In fact, the Strait of Hormuz, a lot of internet cables are coming from there. 30% of the world, 20% of the world's oil goes from there. They have a trade route. In fact, Sir Walter Raleigh had said, "He who commands the seas will command the world eventually." In fact, also it was Alfred Thayer Mahan had said the same thing. In fact, in the Ottoman Empire, Admiral Hayreddin Barbarossa had advised Emperor Solomon He who commands the seas will command the world eventually, and that's coming true. In fact, that's most certainly coming true. Israel has claimed that they have killed the IRGC naval chief who was looking after controlling the Strait of Hormuz. Well, there has been a lot of information warfare. A lot of information is coming in from both sides. There was a rumor, there was a news that Netanyahu is no more, but then he clarified, he came, oh, it was an AI video. So those things are on from both sides. There is ultimately what's going to happen is, forget about missiles. Missiles don't scare you much. The fear of being attacked by a missile scares you even further. So there's going to be a total disaster. I am feeling very sad for where the humanity in the world is heading to.
All right. Unfortunately, that's all the time that we have to discuss these developments. I thank you, Mr. Rajat Mishra, Sushil Shingal and Major Shah for joining us on this broadcast. With that, we are wrapping up this bulletin and slipping into a short commercial.